Hey everybody, this is Mike with the One Stop Co-op Shop, and today I'm doing a preview of Wastelandia. This is a 1 to 4 player cooperative boss battling game of dice placement, and I'll do a solo playthrough of the first 2 or 3 battles and then give my impressions at the end of the video. And as always, we don't take compensation from publishers. I'm just doing these crowdfunding previews to let you make an informed decision. And if you like the content on the One Stop Co-op Shop, consider supporting us through Patreon. You get early access to our videos and exclusive videos every month you can't see anywhere else. You can also listen to our podcast for reviews and design discussions, or come and say hi and join the conversation on our Discord. So again, Wastelandia is a dice placement boss battling game that plays really quickly. Each player has a board that starts out with some unique placement spots, all their own, plus everyone has a stick, and you'll be upgrading throughout the game to fill out these empty spaces. And in the game, you're progressing through a series of boss battles. An entire successful run is 4 bosses in a row, although the game can be pretty tough, especially on the higher difficulties, so you might not make it that far. The first boss fight is always against the Clank bots, who are pretty straightforward, and then you have a bunch of branching paths for which boss you'll fight next, but the entire game can be played in one sitting pretty easily. It's a quick play. In solo, you have to control at least 2 characters, and you can control up to 4. There are 6 characters total in the prototype they sent me with different complexity levels. Some of them are more focused on attacking, some on supporting, that kind of stuff. And rather than go through a long discussion of how the game works, I think I'll just show it in action. So let's get into Deadly Dorothy's first turn, since she's first. And the structure of the game is you take a hero turn, then the enemies activate, then a hero turn, then the enemies activate. And regardless of player count, you only have up to 6 turns to complete each battle. So with a 3-player, you get 2 turns each. With 4-player, you wouldn't all get the same number of turns. And if you haven't beaten the bosses, or if anybody goes down to 0 life, then you lose. If you can win within those 6 rounds, then you get to do some leveling up, and you go on to the next battle. But first, let's go into a little bit of narrative intro. The writing is pretty funny here. And the setting here is sort of like, for those who know these IPs, The Last Kids on Earth meets Mitchell's versus the Machines. We are in a post-apocalyptic world where kids are kind of like the main people left alive, scrabbling together weapons to fight, and their enemies are mostly robots and mutated creatures and like raiders and stuff. Battle number 1, the Clanks emerge. Things have been mellow in Wastelandia for a hot minute. Bored to death, you and your home slices are throwing stuff at other stuff, and breaking things with other things.
Check this out. I bet you I can hit that bottle first try.
With your aim, you couldn't hit that bottle if it was the size of a school bus.
You throw a rock and miss wildly. It whizzes over a bush, and you hear a loud clank. The bush shakes and something emerges.
Yo, what the flip? Are those Clank bots?
Clank bots? Looks like a toaster oven learned how to walk.
They send tracking signals to death bots, dude.
Psh, death bots, smith bots, big whoop.
Yeah, they're only military death machines that blow everything to bits. Is it too late to run?
Weak humans detected. Stab sequence initiated. Just a hunch, but I think they see us. We better bust them up before they alert any big baddies.
All right, with that out of the way, the victory condition is to defeat both Clank bots. So there are 2 of these enemies in 6 turns or less. Then we'll get to loot. There's no extra setup or rules for them. Each boss has an optional challenge, and if you can complete that, you'll get slightly stronger rewards when you go to the level up phase. In this case, if we can win in 4 turns instead of 6, then we'll get that extra bonus. And the bosses have their own individual life tracks. They both start with 15, because I'm playing on the sort of normal, tough level here, although they have a ton of gradations of difficulty, like not only the enemy health, but how much health you have and some other things. And we've got 3 different ways they can activate. We draw a token from the bag. Each of these is represented twice. It is also going to keep track of the rounds, because once you've drawn all 6 tokens, you're on the final round. So we know ahead of time what they'll be doing. In this case, they are going to clumsily chase me, which is Deadly Dorothy, the character currently activating, whereas some of their things will affect more people. Spin Slice will affect all of us. These are 2 of the main icons in the game. This means dealing fear, making somebody afraid, and this means dealing damage. Fear builds up on characters, and every time they take an instance of damage, they add as much damage as the current fear on the person. So if this Clank bot had 2 fear, and then I hit him for 1 damage, I'd actually do 3 damage. The 1 I dealt, plus 2 for the 2 fear on them. So a lot of the game is about managing your own fear and building up fear on others. In this case, they are going to, again, each clumsily chase Deadly Dorothy and put 2 fear on her. And I do say each because they each individually resolve this ability themselves. So as long as both Clank bots are alive, they'll put 4 fear on her instead of 2. All right, now going to Deadly Dorothy. She is first. You get to select this in the first battle. And she's starting with 15 life. And each character gets 5 dice. And after drawing for the enemy, they roll. I've got 2 2s, a 1, a 4, and a 5. And big things she wants are a pair of dice. That's what this equal sign means to activate her voodoo skull. She wants an odd and an even die to use her jump rose whip. And she gets a bonus on her jump rope for every 3 and 4 showing. That means on any of the dice. So that 4 right now is boosting her a bit. But I'm going to re-roll these 2s if I use the voodoo skull. You'll see how all this works. I'm just trying to kind of give you a little bit of a taste of what's going to happen. Her backpack needs an odd. The 1 or the 5 will work for that. Her skateboard can use anything. These are basic abilities that everybody can use, and she can use a stick with anything. So I think these dice are honestly fine for the first turn. But you do have these set of power cubes that are used by all your characters. And in normal difficulty, you start with 12 of them. You can spend 1 to re-roll as many dice as you want anytime you roll dice. Because you're going to see, during your turn, you'll also roll dice to see how things, kind of happen. But here, again, I think Dorothy's okay. We'll just let this one lie. So to talk through her unique abilities, her backpack needs to have an odd die placed on it. And you put the dice right on there, although some dice will let you reuse them somewhere else. And then you just mark that you've used the thing, because each card or ability can only be used once per turn. Things that have a hand like this are generally dice manipulation or support abilities. Her backpack with its bag of tricks lets the next player, in this case Crazy Carl, change 6s to 1s or 1s to 6s freely. Honestly, he doesn't have anything that cares a ton about 1s and 6s, so until he upgrades, that's not going to be one that I'm going to use much. Her voodoo skull, she needs to put a pair of dice there. And then she's going to roll those same dice. Anytime you see this little symbol with an arrow going around and a die value, she rolls the dice she placed there, and something's going to happen. In this case, she's going to target one of the clank bots, and if she gets a 9 or more, she gets to deal 2 fear to that target, and then she gets to target somebody and do it all over again. If she gets a 6 or less, she gets 2 fear, and they also get 2 fear, and she stops re-rolling the ability. Or if she gets a 7 or 8, she just does nothing and stops the rolling. But again, she can use those power cubes. So this could just put a ton of fear on somebody. She keeps on rolling well or uses power cubes to reroll, or it could do very little. But that's a fear-based ability. That's when you have these little fear things here. She's got a skateboard to heal herself. When she places any die on here, she heals double the amount of fear she has on her. So right now it's useless, but if she gets afraid, she can heal a lot. And you can go above your starting life up to 30. So healing effects are useful right up from the beginning. And then her jump rope whip, she has to put an odd and an even die. And she does double the number of 3s and 4s she has showing on her board. So if she used this right now, she would just do 2 damage, although it is boosted by fear. But we're hoping that, the voodoo skull, when we're done rolling, it is going to end up with some 3s and 4s, or this 1 maybe. Because she can use the one on the stick. The stick everybody starts with. You roll the die you place on it, and if you get a 3 or higher, you deal a single point of damage to a single target. So not too powerful. And then everyone has these basic abilities. Healing, you place an even die here. You heal as much as the value of the die. Courage, you place an odd die here, and then you remove as much fear as the value of the die. And then power, you place any die here. If it's a 1 through 5, you get a single power cube. If it's a 6, you get 2 power. All right, that was a lot, but those are all of her abilities until she levels up. So we're doing the skull. So we will roll these 2, hoping for a 9 or higher. Heck yeah, that is it. So we get to put 2 fear on one target and then roll again. And the clank bots are basically identical, so we'll stick with this one. And here we can roll over here. Okay, so a 6 would stop the rolling. I would take 2 fear, and he would take 2 more fear. Or I could spend some power cubes. Well, sure. We've got 12, and you tend to be able to get them sometimes. So let's spend 1 and get a 5. That's the same thing. Maybe I'll stop. Never mind. So a 6 or lower puts another 2 fear. I'll put it on the same target, but also puts 2 fear on her. But she can courage that away. She can, do lots of things. Ooh, and we did end up with a 4, because this is still a showing die, so a lot of things will check what dice are showing, and that just means anywhere on your board. So that'll now boost the jump rope whip. But before we use that, let's try. We could heal 4 with the skateboard, or let's smack that guy with the stick. Okay, so I'm going to roll the stick. I want to get a 3 or higher, and I would love a 3 or 4 to boost the whip. I haven't actually used it yet. And that's a 2. Gosh darn it. All right, let's use the power. Try to kill these robots before they do anything bad. Hey, there we go. So that'll not only do 1 damage, but it's another 3 showing for my whip to be boosted. So I'm dealing 1 damage to a bot, and we'll hurt the one that's already afraid. So it's 1 plus 4, 5 damage. He's down to 10. And then to finish up Dorothy's turn, we'll do an odd and even die. And we count the number of 3s and 4s. 1, 2, 3 times 2 is 6. We're doing 6 damage to one target. Oh, and this worked out better than I thought. 6 plus 4 is 10. Defeated. Okay, that's 1 clank butt down in a single turn. But the other one is going to deal 2 fear to me before we go over to our other character, Crazy Carl. And very important to the game is that basically everything carries over to your next fight. So this 4 fear is not going away. Her 15 life is not going up or down. So you need to take actions, use courage, use healing to put yourself in a better position if you can before you go into the next fight. Alright, now before Crazy Carl goes, we have another activation, and it's going to be Shin Kicks. So Clankbot 2, who's the only one left alive, is going to be targeting Crazy Carl. And it's going to do 2x damage, which is the number of 2s and 5s he has showing. So he wants to try not to have 2s and 5s, and then he won't take any damage at all. Although even 0 damage, I believe, is boosted by fear. So if Crazy Carl gets afraid during the turn, from his own actions, then he would still take some damage. All right, let's look at Crazy Carl's abilities. So he's got some super high tops. He needs a pair. There's another manipulation one. It says you add 2 power cubes from the reserves to this card. Whenever another player rolls dice, they can spend cubes from this card to change a die value by 1, which is super, super good. Because, normally when you're using the cubes, you're re-rolling them. And it comes from the reserve, which is not our supply of power cubes, so it's not like stealing from us. He's got a battle card, also a pair. Geez, he wants pairs a lot. That one puts 2 fear on every enemy, which is not as good now there's only 1 enemy. And then all players roll any one of their dice. Any player who rolls a 3 or less must gain 2 fear as well. So kind of like Deadly Dorothy. He can sometimes scare other people with his battle cart. Spiked gloves, any die. He causes as much fear to one target as the total 1s and 2s you have showing. Which is cool, but unfortunately, remember, 2s are going to make the Shin Kicks hit me harder. And then his big attack is Tripod Turret, which also can hit lots of targets. I'm not great. I should have had Crazy Carl go first. I forgot that he was so good at kind of spreading the stuff around. But it does 2 damage to X targets equal the number of 3s you have showing. So he really likes 1, 2s, and 3s at the moment. He's got all the same basic abilities. The stick. Here we go. Not 2s and 5s, please. Whoa. That's a lot of pairs, which is good for Battle Card and Super High Tops. That is 0 3s and 5s, so unless I use abilities that re-roll things, I'll be fine. And hey, the Tripod Turret can hit a single person, because there's a single 3. So that's cool. This is actually a pretty good roll. I like this. So yeah, there's nothing he has to really be afraid of. I could heal 6, which is maybe worth doing. Now, if I do the stick, or if I do the battle card, he's going to have to re-roll 1 die, and he might get a 2 or 5 and be in more danger. But yeah, I don't mind if he doesn't kill this Clankbot, if he just kind of sets him up for maybe Dorothy to kill, because I'd like Dorothy to be able to heal away some of her fear, and we still have this round and 2 more rounds before we even would fail to complete the challenge, let alone the full 6 turns. So, okay, let's do the Super High Tops. I do like that. So I'll give Dorothy some mitigation in the future. I'm not sure about the battle cart. Maybe I don't use that yet. Yeah, because look at this. I can do the Tripod Turret and smack the Clankbot for 2, since he's not afraid at all. Down to 13. And then rather than taking any chances with rerolls, let's do healing. Get 6 life. It's an even die, and it goes up the value. And, power. Since it's a 6, will get us 2 power cubes back, so we're back to our starting value. And then Clankbot tries to kick Crazy Carl's shins, but there are no 2s and 5s showing, and Crazy Carl has no fear, so no damage at all. Awesome. That brings us back to Deadly Dorothy for round 3. And we're doing another Shin Kicks. We have not gotten the Spin Slice, which is their nastiest attack, so that's cool. Once again, she wants to avoid 2s and 5s. And we can't forget that we have Carl's High Tops if we need a little bit of mitigation. So yeah, I really want to get rid of her fear. Maybe use the skateboard first to heal a lot, and then set Clankbot up for maybe a turn 4 kill. Okay, 2s and 5s were the dangerous thing. But I can put the 2 on the stick or something to re-roll it. Oh, that's right. She likes 3s and 4s for her jump rope. So she puts this 3 and 4 on there. She's already doing a decent amount of damage. Oh, I really want a courage, an odd die value. And then I kind of wanted the skateboard to heal. There's a lot of things I want to do. You know what, let's use a single power cube to re-roll the non-3s and 4s here, because I'd like maybe some higher value dice. And, okay, we did get a 5. We want to try to do something about that. Or maybe, a little bit of damage isn't going to hurt too much. Yeah, so she can get rid of all of her fear with that 5. She wants to do the skateboard. I want to do the jump rope, whip. Maybe she could heal herself even more. But then I'm not doing anything. Well, yeah, I guess I'm hitting him with the whip. So, okay, let's do the jump rope whip. Well, first, is anything re-rolling? No, I'm not planning to re-roll anything right now. So let's do the jump rope whip. That's doing 1, 2, 3 times 2, 6 damage. So this Clankbot is down to 7 life. And then if we want the extra reward, we just want Crazy Carl to finish him off. And then I want to do, not courage first, I'm going to do skateboard. I heal double the amount of fear I have, which is 8, so she's at 23. Then I'll do courage and get rid of up to 5 fear. And then she could heal 6 or get us 2 more power cubes. I mean, she's already really healed. Let's get 2 power cubes. And then because she does have a 5 showing, she's going to take 2 damage from the shin kick. She's down to 21. And that was round 3, so unless Crazy Carl can do 7 damage, we won't get the bonus reward. And, oh, he's doing the clumsy chase. He never even got his spin slice. All right, 7 damage. Crazy Carl, you got this, buddy. Although, yeah, he doesn't have as many ways to do damage, does he? We need to like battle cart this guy to make him more afraid, I guess. Okay, that'll work. We got some 3s for the tripod turret. We got some doubles for the battle cart. He can stick him maybe. So let's go and do the battle cart first. So he's going to do 2 damage or 2 fear to the clankbot. And then each of us has to re-roll a die. Carl wants to keep at least the 3, so let's re-roll this one. 4, that's fine. And then, yeah, I mean, her dice are all just kind of off, but she wants to not roll a 3 or less. Okay, so she is taking 2 fear. We could spend a power cube even on that kind of roll, but we're not going to. All right, now I think I've got this in the bag, if I calculated right. Because Carl can do the tripod turret. That'll do 2 damage to up to 1 target since he has 1 3 showing. 2 plus 2 is 4, so it's down to 3. And then, yeah, a stick will finish him off, although we might need to re-roll if we miss the roll. What should Carl do with his 6? Should he get us 2 power, or should he get 6 life? We have a lot of power, more than we started with. Let's go with the life and get Carl all the way up to 27. That's pretty great. Okay, now he's going to do the stick. He needs to get a 3 or higher to finish this guy off. That'll do it. Because 1 damage plus 2, man, that was a very smooth run. These guys are supposed to be easy, and we could have made them way harder with higher difficulty. All right, so we're going to go to the loot phase. Let's see how this works. So the enemy stuff is removed, but again, we don't change anything about our board. And we go to this page in the back of the book, and we're going to set out a turn order token, an item, and a reward in each of these randomly. Turn order will determine who is first and second in the next battle. We know now that Crazy Carl maybe wants to go first, and of course it's going to matter more with more players. These reward cards give you generally some kind of ongoing thing, and these are the ones where you get a better reward for completing the challenge. So like this one, it says +1 die your next turn, but -1 die for the next player's turn after you. Or, if we got the super reward, +1 die your next turn and all players gain 1 fear, which is clearly a lot better than taking away an entire die. We'll look at that. We'll look at the combos in a second after I put everything out. Okay, then we're going to get 2 weapon cards. We've got an alien ray gun and a slingshot, and 2 item cards, which tend to be about like mitigation and stuff. We've got a shopping cart and a boombox. All right, so let's look at our options. We're each going to pick one. All right, so going second, +1 die your next turn, all players gain 1 fear. Shopping cart costs a 6 and a power cube. It's pretty expensive. But all other players gain +1 dice for the rest of the battle. Clearly that's better in 3 or 4 player, but that's still pretty darn good, although it is also pretty expensive the turn you use it. Okay, this one, during your next reroll phase, you can change any single die to any value. It's pretty good, and the rewards tend to be like only something that applies for the next turn. Boombox, you put any die here, increase the value of another dice you have by X, then reuse that die if it's already used. Ooh, that's pretty cool. So we don't really waste the die here. Now we can only increase the value of the die, so like Crazy Carl, who maybe wants lower dice when he cares much. All right, get to the weapon side of things. This one, regular reward, gain 30 life. That's not useful at all. And -1 die for your next turn. No, we're already kind of not going to pick that one. It would make its 4th. Ooh, but alien ray gun. A 4 and an even die. Do 4x. X equals the number of pairs of dice you have showing. So unless we had an extra die, like from the shopping cart, the most I would ever do is 8, although that is quite a lot of damage. Or the slingshot. +1 die your next turn and -1 power cube. Well, that's fine. We have power cubes to spare. Slingshot, you put a 3 on here, you re-roll the 3. Continual re-roll until you roll a 1. Deal damage equal to the number of rolls. Oh, but you cannot re-roll this one. But that's awesome. I mean, what, on average, I'm going to do like 5 or 6 damage for a single die. So slingshot and that bonus, heck yes, I say. Now, Crazy Carl already needs 3s for his tripod turret. So I think I should put this one on Deadly Dorothy. So let's give her the +1 die next turn. But we got to spend a power cube. And she'll be third, which means she'll be last unless Carl picks this, and he's not going to. Just to show you, all the stuff goes over here. So you got a spot for your turn order. You got a reminder of what your reward is. And Slingshot goes here. You fight 4 bosses, and you get a reward after the first 3. So this will be fully filled before you go to the final boss. Okay, so if we're ignoring the ray gun, what does Carl want? Again, I'm not sure the boombox is good for him. He doesn't need high values. I mean, except for for like maybe the basic abilities or something. So I guess the shopping cart is the best. And he's also going to get a 6 die on his turn. And then all players gain 1 fear. I mean, we can get rid of it with the extra dice. It'll be fine. So Carl's got a shopping cart. He's got an extra die. He gains a fear, and so does Dorothy. And he'll be second, which just means first in this case because Dorothy is third. All right, the ones we didn't pick get discarded. And then we have our next battle. It's going to be against thieves, cult recruiters, or mutant mischief. And we got some thieves, page 3 to 4. Worried that the Clankbot sent a signal to any Deathbots, you and your crew hurry out of town. You gather your supplies and hit the road. Dusk falls and you come across an abandoned house to crash in.
You guys really worried about some dinky bots? If the Deathbots are anything like the Clanks, we can smash into bits.
They're called Deathbots for a reason. They're indestructible military soldiers.
Psh, I ain't worried. I'm sleeping sound tonight. Deep asleep, you are awakened near dawn to the sound of a door shutting. You swing up to see who's missing, but everyone is asleep and the food on the table is missing. Guys, wake up! Our snacks are gone!
Not the Twinkies!
You hear cackling outside.
Those slime-sucking mucus membranes are getting away. Let's teach them a lesson.
Okay, so this time we have 2 rat kids who are each going to have their own life bar and a bandit who's going to activate using the same token they draw but can't be defeated. Oh, never mind, he can be defeated. Elusive, you can't deal damage to bandit. He's defeated once 7 fear is applied to him. Or on Wimpy, he starts with 2. Okay. Optional challenge. The first 2 turns of the battle, the player must place a single dice here after their roll phase. Well, we each have a bonus die for our first turn, so that's basically nothing at all, although we could just ignore the super reward. But yeah, I mean, we can probably do that. How much life do these guys each have? 20 at my difficulty, okay. And just to go through their abilities quickly, so quick means that it applies immediately. So this one says you can't assign 6s this turn if they get an A, and bandit on an A will deal 5 fear to the player with the most health. Annoying. Straight up robbed. For B, at end of turn, choose 1, remove 2 power, or your next turn lose all dice you placed on basic abilities, which means, I guess, you don't have them anymore, which I guess means don't place dice on basic abilities. And then Bandit does 8 damage to you. Okay, and then Snarl... Oh, so these guys literally can't hurt you. Snarl Teeth is 2 fear to 1 person. And Sneaky Thief. At the start of turn, remove 4 power from the team supply and place on Bandit. But, oh, you gain back the power when you defeat Bandits. That's really nothing. All right, whatever. Crazy Carl's going first, and we got B. Oh, so Bandit's going to bite hard. And then we're going to be robbed at the end of the turn. We'll just, I guess, lose 2 power. It's fine.
Carl, I want you to defeat those thieves. Carl.
All right. So I want to do Battle Card, because that'll make them all afraid, get Bandit closer to dying, and then Tripod Turret as many as I can. So I want a lot of 3 pairs, if possible. Oh, and I'm getting 6 dice, aren't I? Yes, I am. Okay. Oh, that's 1, 3. Whoops. What was that? I don't... Okay, whatever. It is what it is. So I got a 3. I got a 6 for the shopping cart if I want to give Dorothy even more dice. And I got some other stuff. So it doesn't matter what I have this turn. But I do need pairs if I want to do the battle cart. The only pairs I have are 6s. That's not great. I can't use the super high tops on myself. Let's re-roll. I'll keep the 6 pairs. Let's re-roll all 3 of these for a power. Try to get some more pairs and or some more 3s. Hey, that's great. I'll take that. So now I can shoot 2... Oh, so both the rat kids with my tripod turret. I can use both the 6s for my battle card, although then I wouldn't do my shopping cart. Oh, and I totally forgot about his spiked gloves. What is it? For every 1 and 2 I have showing. Well, that's not good. Okay, so let's do battle cart. So we're doing 2 fear to everybody. You can put it right on their picture to remind you which one has it. And, by the way, they have a 5 fear side. If you build up a bunch, you need 7, remember, to be defeated. Okay, and then... Tripod turret. Oh, that's right. I have to re-roll 1. I like the 2. I like the 3. So let's re-roll this 4. Hey, that's awesome. Now my spike gloves would do 2 fear to somebody. Oh, but he rolled low. So what's he get? He gets 2 fear himself. Uh-oh. Maybe we get rid of some of the fear with courage. And then Dorothy, this isn't like a permanent die or anything. She's just, dang it, she gets 2 fear as well. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so now Carl. I'm going to do, I guess... Spike gloves, tripod. Oh no, tripod turret. That's right. I got to give one of them a die and get rid of my fear. Okay, yes. I think that's everything I'm going to do. So I'm going to use courage, get rid of all 3 of my fear. Should I make one of the rats afraid and try to kill him, or should I make the bandit afraid and hopefully get rid of him quickly? Let's make the bandit afraid. So I'm dealing 2 fear to the bandit. So he needs 3 more fear to be gone, and Deadly Dorothy with her skull can do that pretty easily. And yeah, I did the courage. Tripod turret's going to hit 2 targets for my 2 3s. For 2 damage each. which will get these rat kids each down 4. So they're both at 16. And this final 2, he's going to put up here to deal with the optional challenge. All right, not a bad turn, not a bad turn. All right, I'll let the rat kids steal the 2 power, because I do think Dorothy might want to get rid of some fear on her turn. And then the stupid raccoon's going to bite me for 8. Oh, but I forgot Carl had so much life, so he's still at 19. Not too bad, because he had no fear to boost. Good job, Carl. And let's not forget about the high tops when Dorothy's doing like her skull or whatever. All right, what activation are they doing now? It's going to be, oh, another B. Okay, so yeah, if we take out him, all we'll lose is some power, or we can just do the lose all your basic abilities. So I'm feeling pretty good about that. Dorothy also has 6 dice on her first turn. And yeah, we get a pair to really fear up that raccoon. Okay, that's cool. 5s and 4s. All right, and we got, yeah, odds and evens. Well, we sort of have odds and evens for the jump rope. And I want to use the 5 for the courage. So let's use the pair of 4s for the voodoo skull first. And we're going to try to get it on the raccoon. So we want to get, what is it? We want to get a 9 or higher. Okay, so first time, hey, there we go. So that's already 2 fear. And raccoon again. Whoa, okay, so raccoon's already dead. That's 4 fear. We voodoo skulled him out of here. Whole thing KO'd. But they're still going to rob us. So let's keep the fear train going, baby. I guess I'll target number 1. They're equivalent right now. Okay, that's only 6. That would give me 2 fear, but them 2 fear. I guess that's okay. If they rob more of our power cubes, I don't want to run out. And that does give me a 4 for the jump rope whip, so that's cool. It's number 1's at 4 fear, and Dorothy's at 7 fear. Yeah, let's deal with that right away. Let's do courage and get rid of 5 of that fear. Oh, do I want to? No, I don't need to heal myself 14. Well, I'm going to do jump rope whip. And, oh, I forgot about slingshot. Oh, man, I can kick somebody's butt. So, yeah, I will go ahead and do courage and get rid of that. Now, let's do jump rope whip, which is going to do... Oh, I don't have a 3 for the slingshot. I only have a 6. Ooh, I could. I'll use... Well, let's wait a second. But I was going to say I could use the 1 from the high top, one of the tokens, to change this to a 3. I think technically I might have had to do that earlier, but it's okay. So I'll do the jump rope whip. So I'm doing... equal to the number 3 show. No, that's even better. So 2, 4 damage. With the 4 fear here will be 8. So he's down to 8. Okay, then slingshot. I'm rolling until I get a 1 and counting how many rolls it is. So 1, 2. You butt. Are you serious? That's right. I can't even modify it. Okay, well, it's just a 2 then. So 2 plus 4 will get him down to almost dead. Or should I even hit the other one? That's fine. Well, no, actually, yeah, you know what? Because his tripod turret can probably kill them both. So let's hit this one for 4 damage. Which does bring up a question. I'm not entirely sure if I have to declare my target when I attack. Yeah, I'm not 100% clear, so the designer can pop in. Or maybe I'll have a note right here to say. But okay, so that happened. We're not getting rabies bite. And... I'm not going to have Carl do any basic abilities, so we won't lose the power cube, because his health is pretty good. He doesn't have any fear to get rid of, so yeah, I think that's going to be okay. Oh, shoot. I forgot about putting the extra die. Okay, let's cancel the slingshot entirely. Cancel the token I used. Oh, no, I won't cancel the token because I got extra damage from it. So we'll take away the 4 damage we got and say that instead she did this. Sorry. I forgot all about that. Okay, going into round 3, and they're going... Oh, we just can't assign 6s. That's it. With the bandit gone, this is easy. Okay, and we don't have 6 dice anymore, but this is already taken care of, so we'll just roll 5. Sorry, my phone died for a second there, but this is what I ended up with. So what does he want? He wants 3s. He wants at least 2 to hit him both with the tripod turret. And he could use them for the battle card as well, so that all seems pretty good. We didn't get any 6s, which we can't assign anyway. The 2 he could use the... Oh, no, he can't use any basic abilities if I don't want to lose the die. I guess I could use the spiked glove. That would put a single fear on somebody. That's not really worth it. Can't do the super high tops. Well, we can stick somebody. So let's do this stuff first. So we'll do the battle card. I have to re-roll a die. Let's re-roll this 5. I don't think I really did that. I got another 2. Hey, that'll make the spike gloves work better. So we haven't done this. So that is dealing 2 fear to each of them. Oh my gosh, this guy is a mess. He's got 6 fear, so... Yeah, the 2 damage will finish him off, which is what I was hoping. And then this guy would need to be hit a few times. But yeah, I mean, he's not doing anything to me this turn, so it really doesn't matter if we go another round. Oh, and I did re-roll something and get a lower value, so that means I get 2 fear. Let's hope Dorothy does not get hit by it this time. Yay, she didn't. That's a 3, or yeah, higher than a 3, I think is what she needed to not take fear from the cart. All right, so now I'm gonna do the spiked gloves before I do the tripod turret for total of 1s and 2s. So I have 2 showing, so I'm gonna put 2 fear on the rat kid that won't die yet. So he's got 6. Let's clean that up. Both got 6 fear. And then swabam, tripod turret. So we're doing 2 damage to each of them, because we could hit up to 3 targets even. So 2 plus 6 straight up kills number 1. Brr. And 2 plus 6 is 8. And number 2 is almost down. And again, he's not doing anything, so there's no reason to rush to kill him. But I can't use basic abilities. Oh, so I guess there's not really much I can do, is there? I'll try to stick him. I did, so I'll do 7 damage. He has 1 life left. That'll take us to Dorothy's turn, and she's going to have free reign. Hey, and there's finally a C. So if she doesn't defeat this one guy, she'll take 2 fear. I mean, she just has to breathe on him and he'll die. But yeah, she can try to get rid of her fear yet, get her health back up. So there's no restrictions on what she can use. She doesn't need to use the voodoo skull. She does want to skateboard first, and then maybe do healing and power. The slingshot will kill him, so she'll keep a 3 to kill him with. Besides that, I guess a courage and a power, healing, and a skateboard. That seems good. Okay, so skateboard, healing 2 times her fear, which is 4. She's at 5. Healing more, she's at max 30. Courage, her fear is gone. Power, she gets us 2 power tokens, because it's a 6. And slingshot, let's see how she does this time. 1 damage. What the heck? Well, it's still 2 damage, which would be enough even without the fear, but with the fear, it's overkill. Done. And we get our bonus. And I'm going to stop there after the looting. I'll show you who the third boss would be, but I think you get the idea. So Carl and Dorothy lose their old rewards. Let's see what our new options are. On the item side, we've got 4th place. Your next turn, any damage dealt to you is reduced to 1. That's pretty cool. And the grappler gun. You put a die in here, subtract any amount from the die placed here, and then reuse the die. That's really pretty nice, actually, to like get 3 to fire the slingshot or something else. That's pretty cool. Metal detector. +1 dice for your next turn. Remove 3 life or set your life to 1. The remove 3 part is not too bad. Needs 2 dice. But then you roll both those dice, change 1 die to match the other, reuse both dice. Oh my gosh, that is so good for Crazy Carl with all the doubles he needs for his abilities. How good is that, man? And if I roll a 1, 2, or 3, I can change both dice to be a 1, 2, or 3, which would boost his spiked gloves or his tripod turret. Heck yeah. I mean, again, that's kind of a meh super reward, but the rest is cool. How about weapons? The first turn of next battle, you can draw 4 battle ability tokens and choose 1. Oh, that's cool, so you can almost guarantee what activation they do. And then crowbar, it needs an odd die. 1 damage to 1 target. You roll the die. If the result is higher than the die you placed here, you can reuse dice on a basic ability. I guess that means this die. So if I put like a 1 here, it would be the best, and re-roll it if I get a 2 through 6. I can also put it on a basic ability. It's pretty good. I mean, it's not great damage, but I guess if we get enough fear going, it's fine. And boxing gun. We just gain 4 power, which is nice. And you put a 4 here. It has to be a 4. You get to re-roll it. If you get a 5 or higher, you deal 7 damage. If a 4 or less is rolled, you're dealt 3 damage. Yeesh. Although, I mean, you can re-roll those with power, and we'd have a lot of power. There's still a token on Carl's high tops, so if Dorothy got it, then she could mitigate that. Yeah, you know what? I think Dorothy would get first place, the boxing gun, and 4 power for us. And then this one was never in doubt. Carl would, of course, get the metal detector, get a 6th die, lose 3 health, and he'd be after Dorothy, which is not ideal, but still pretty good. And just for the fun of it, let's see who our third boss would have been. There's a lot of them. The Bomber Boy. Ooh, so here he is with, oh man, how much life does he have? Tough, he would have 40. And then he's also got 2 of these Clank guys, although they're different. Oh, their Slicing Rampage is even better. Stabby Hand. Okay, so it is very similar to their original abilities. He's giving us items. Oh, man, or drawing weapons. It is cool. He, like, interacts with the item decks in different ways. And then tosses grenades. Oh, my gosh. He also makes the other baddies afraid, so he's, like, not truly working with them. Oh, and then, gosh, to get the bonus, we have to not use power during the first few turns. Okay, that's cool. And then, yeah, the final bosses, there are 3 of them in the current version of the game. They're all death bots in one form or another, and they are nasty. You got to kill them multiple times. Yeah, my kids and I beat them on Wimpy, but on Tough, it's been a pretty hard nut to crack. But we'll stop there. That's a little taste of Wastelandia. You can see, like, the core mechanics here. What are my thoughts on this one? I think it's really fun. I like boss battlers the cooperative boss battlers that are kind of, one-off plays or quick to play. This one, playtime for an entire set of 4 bosses, is, maybe 90 minutes, maybe an hour if you're fast with it. Although, of course, it will be higher with more players. And it's not even really higher with more players because you're getting the same number of turns. You just do less on your turns. And it's not even higher with more players generally because you're taking the same number of turns. You just get fewer turns individually. But yeah, so this kind of fits in the same vein as a Townsfolk Tussle, or something like, I don't know, I would compare it to Sentinels of the Multiverse or Dice Throne Adventures. One of these things where like you're doing some quick fights, but you don't have to play like this huge long campaign. Well, I guess Dice Throne Adventures is kind of a campaign. But yeah, the gameplay is straightforward. The enemies are quite varied and interesting. It's pretty easy to track everything with the booklet. The variety in what they do and the strategies you have to use to oppose them is fun. The sense of humor and kind of the setting they've created is really cool. And the big thing are these characters. I like dice placement, and I would say what's going on here, at least for my taste, is more fun and more interesting and more engaging than something like Dice Throne, where you're just kind of like trying to Yahtzee together combinations, trying to figure out exactly how to use your dice, and the variety in the characters here is, that was a pretty good roll, is tons of fun, and it does have a lot of mitigation with these power cubes and other player abilities to help you out, and your character gets built in very different ways each game, but they're also very unique. The 6 characters they sent me have very different things going on, and then they're going to combo with different like items and weapons and things in different ways. So I think the tactical picture has been engaging every time I've played, but it's still pretty quick. Now, I mean, I will say potentially the concern here is that you're not doing much on another player's turn. So especially like with 3 or 4 players, the downtime could be a little iffy. Although honestly, I played with my 8 and 11-year-old, and their attention spans are not the best, as you can imagine. And they were still pretty cool because, your turns don't tend to take super long, and things like rolling dice to see what affects them or like boosting each other and that kind of stuff is pretty exciting. So we didn't get bored, but certainly I can see groups with analysis paralysis, if they're playing at higher player counts, just kind of zoning out or like feeling the game takes too long if you can't take your turn in a quick fashion. Also, as I said, the highest player counts, you're going to get like unequal turns. So turn order really matters. Like if you are playing 4-player and you go into several turns and you only get a single turn or your turn never comes around because they kill the enemies quickly, that's not going to feel great. So there are some potentially weird things, mainly with the 4-player count here, just something to be aware of. But yeah, if you like quick boss battlers, if you like dice placement, if you like fun, cooperative, like little dice puzzles, variety in the enemies, and a whimsical kind of story and art style, I think Wastelandia is great. I had fun with it, and so did my kids. So go check out the crowdfunding page, see what you think for yourself. Thanks for watching, everybody. Good gaming, and I'll see you at the next stop.